don't. You could just type in your name and all your songs come up.
Yeah. Yep.
I said, I'm going to take a little bit of time.
Nice.
I said, and I'm going to pull his songs up. I went through each one of them. Yes, I did. Yes, yeah, because I'm like, I should know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's funny. I just did that.
I love it. You're in the loop now.
I'm in the loop. I'm in the loop. I won't be here that day, but 'cause I know I'm taking care of a 85-year-old aunt in San Jose. So I'm gonna have to go up there because I'm going to Atlanta tomorrow at 2 a.m. So as soon as I get back, I gotta go take care of her. So. And then I noticed, that's what else I noticed. You're going to be in Atlanta. I thought, are you, it looked like when I pulled you
We
up
were going to do one music fest in Atlanta.
Because it was showing that you were performing in Atlanta.
Yeah, we were going to do
you still
one
doing
music fest. No, we're not going to do that fest anymore.
Okay,
Yeah.
but yeah, that came up.
Yeah, nice.
And then I was thinking, I was going, oh my God, you're going to be in Atlanta.
Are you from there?
No,
Okay.
I'm from Richmond.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Me
you
too.
What part?
North.
Oh, you. When somebody told me, they said, where you from? Lucia, who we share an office, she goes, where you from, girl? That ain't real Richmond.
That's hilarious.
I'm on the borderline. I grew up right on the borderline of Richmond and El Cerrito. So I went to Kennedy.
What's up, Tom?
I got to meet you. Russell.
I thought you was about to say Point Richmond. I was
Tom,
gonna
you
say,
always got Tom.
No, not Point. Good to meet you guys. Great meeting you.
Have a safe trip.
have a good one.
You guys have
Tom always got it on.
Thank you.
You always got it on. Every time. You got it together every time.
Well, this job requires me to be like Vallejo's little P.T. Barnum.
You excited, Tom?
I am totally excited. This is going to be great.
Spent a lot of time in the community. I just wanted to bring my daughter up. The lady there was like, you're going to show us the fairgrounds?
Good to see you, Tom.
Good to see you again.
Excuse me, nobody.
So are those little mic stands or?
These are cameras.
Wow.
I didn't know.
This is starting to become our home.
Right?
Yeah, well, I like to think of the
Steven?
How you doing, sir?
Hello?
See you.
Groovy?
How things
Good
go?
to see you.
See how things go in Colorado.
Pretty good.
Hi,
Yeah.
Steve.
What's up, dog? How you doing?
This is Mel Mel, my daughter.
Hey, how you doing? Nice to
This
meet
is
you.
Steven. This is Tom.
You can sit next to him if you want.
You're good?
Would anybody like any water before we sit down?
Okay.
Yeah.
How many we need?
Let's just do 4 and be done with it. So we might have a treat. There might be horses running around the racetrack.
Ooh, now? Look at that. I love horses.
So if we need any more, just holler. It's, there we go.
Thank
You
you.
good? Yeah, no worries. Okay. Well, so here we are. So we have lots of fun little pieces of paper if we need them. If we don't need them, that's okay too. So
Some schematics.
we got lots of schematics.
We take one, pass it to your
Oh,
neighbor,
we got
just
good
like school.
dimension. Yeah.
Then we have some wall-size ones, so if you want to like spread it out in your living room.
Yeah, we got all sorts of stuff. So,
Take those
one,
little
one, two.
construction paper squares, move them around.
yep.
Uh-oh, you broke the technology.
Okay.
That's usually my job.
So it doesn't start.
Well, I don't have any
want the shot too, or
particular
just
starting point, so I don't know if you guys want to start in any particular spot. I have a list of questions and so forth, but we can, just sort of roll with how we go through it.
Yeah, if you want to run through the questions, I think we're green.
Okay.
We're almost at 1,000 people. By the end of today, we'll be at 1,000, so we're halfway there.
Yep.
We're about to do a bunch of media run. We've been running ads, trying to get some posters around the city, and
Cool.
just being active and outside. It's been a lot of energy around.
Well, it really
the show,
looks
and
like it. I
people
mean,
are excited.
just looking at it, because every time you dump something on Instagram,
Yeah.
it seems like people really jump on it and you
Yeah.
get quick responses. And so, that's all great. because you have what, like over 1 million, something like that.
Yeah.
That's a lot, right? That's good. So if they're reading it, that's good. Well, let me start with the basics then, and these are in no particular order. So for the day, or I guess really the Friday through the Monday, do you guys have a production schedule? Do you do that sort of thing where you sort of line out what's going to happen?
Yeah, so
each day?
I could put together a run a show. So
Yeah.
since we put the insurance from that Friday,
I saw
to
that, and that's
Sunday,
good, yeah.
Are we able to come in that Friday?
Yeah,
instead
that's the
of
whole. That's the whole point. Is when we do any of these things, we always want to have a bigger footprint around it.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I get that people can roll in and do all this stuff in a hurry, and like a lot of venues, I know that's just how it works. But we have the flexibility. I figure, especially for when we're working the first time with anybody who's doing a show, we like to have a little more just
Yep.
elbow
Some
room. So yeah, so basically your window to work from, and if we need on the fly to extend that or change that, we can do that too. But what's built into it right now is that Friday morning through Monday afternoon or early.
Now that works perfectly.
Good.
I think the only thing we'll come in beforehand and build out is the staging.
Yeah.
Is there any shows in the arena within that window?
No.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
No. So pretty much, you come in, we'll have, the grass watered and mown, and then you guys come in, set your deck, and I don't even know what other production stuff you're bringing in, but
Yeah.
whatever you're going to do, and then one of the questions we'll get to is sort of in terms of fencing and bike rack barricade and all that stuff, how we're going to configure it. I have kind of an idea in my mind, and watching a bunch of your videos recently where you're playing other venues, I think I have a sense of probably what you're going to want, but you tell me.
Yeah, and we could take this and kind of build a layout on
Yeah.
top, just so it's
Yeah.
a bit visual as well. Only thing I'm thinking, we may barricade the back side of that concert area where we're going to allow like our guests and stuff to kind of come in. Because we also had this idea, and I'm not sure how possible it is, but I had one of the videos that made me kind of go viral to the world is this video I did performing in the back of my dad's truck.
Okay, cool.
And we had this idea to bring the truck in as a part of the set
Yeah.
because everyone is familiar with
Like
it.
a
So I
pickup
think
truck
it'll be-
thing, or,
yeah, like a
yeah.
Chevy Avalanche.
Okay.
So I think it would be really cool to drive in on the truck. And
Well, that's an
everyone's
interesting
super
idea.
Familiar with that.
Mm-hmm.
So we may just block the back side off instead of doing it fully 360. Block that side off so we can drive in and just have it, where people could be to the right, left.
Now, if we were really cool, we'd have it up on the deck itself, right? But
Right.
but it probably gets it a little more money just to build a thing for that. So no, that sounds very doable. So your idea, well, I guess like the start of the show or whatever,
Yep.
is your dad or somebody's driving the thing. You're doing your thing in the back.
Yep.
Okay, got
And
it.
He'll drive up to where the stage is positioned behind it, and
Yeah.
then we'll hop out there and go on the
Okay,
stage.
then jump up
So
on the
we'll probably
stage.
keep that side barricaded and clear so people can't stand on that side.
Yeah, that's probably good because
Um,
that's where the insurance guys get all jiggy when you start getting into mixing
Yeah.
vehicles and all that kind of
And
stuff.
we were thinking, since we're doing like the VIP set, that I'm thinking maybe that back lot that we were saying we could use for like family and friends. It could fit like 50 or 60 cars. We could use that for the VIP and family and friends.
Yeah, I was thinking. Well, there. I don't know if it's marked on there, but here I'll show you on this thing. So, here we go. So this area here is called Expo Plaza. It's an open, basically asphalted area. So now that we know we have this VIP thing.
From Grace across the street.
Oh, sorry, that's Caroline. She's talking to one of her people. If we have your folks come in here, maybe that becomes the VIP area. Something like that, because it's pretty close. Because I'm thinking over here, this is a barn and there's some livestocky stuff here. So this is just a big open barn. That's where I'm seeing sort of staff, entertainment, whatever, all your production guys coming in over there because there's plenty of room there. And then VIP can be over here.
So this is the area between.
There's that big building, Expo Hall.
Mm-hmm.
And
The one
then
that's
the
like the
arena.
outside with the
Yeah,
bleachers and whatnot.
with the gray walls going down each side.
Okay.
Yeah.
But how would they get to this area? Like if we were to bring them around.
Well, that's a good question.
Stage or.
So the real question is, when are they coming in? That kind of will determine the answer to that question. Because they're looking at,
They're supposed to be coming in early, right?
Because they have early access,
entrance.
but you know, people
Everybody won't
you
come
can't
in
really
early.
gauge it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because if you're special enough, you don't need to get there early, right?
right. That's the
the
perk of
flex,
getting.
yeah.
and it looks like, if I'm understanding it, so you have whatever, you're gonna do your, I think, sound check 10 to 11, something like that.
Yeah.
So you do that, but, so is it like 11ish you let them in, or do you
Yeah,
want them there
so
for sound check?
We're
and
going
you
to
do meet and
notify
greet?
all of the early accesses that they
Yeah.
can come around 11ish. Right,
Okay.
the sound check is wrapping, so we can do like a photo op and closer meet and greet before
Yeah.
we open the gates. So the bulk of it should be then, but you know, some people.
No, I get it.
That works with their schedule. So
Yeah.
if it's that early it'll work. But I'm just thinking once the flow starts,
Yeah.
how will we get them into their?
How many do you
meetings?
reckon, I mean, how many VIP, whatever that means?
It'll be no more than 250.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so that's 100 vehicles-ish?
Yeah,
Give or take.
Ish? Okay. Let's think about that a little bit. We got answers, we'll just need to come back to that, because if it's gonna start crossing over when we're gonna start having people on the grounds, that's gonna get a little more complicated, because theoretically you wanna minimize the vehicle traffic and the people crossing over, but,
Yeah.
but
And could we, before we leave,
Yeah.
walk and just see that area one more time?
Yeah.
So we can make sure.
yeah, it's nothing that exciting, but it's just basically an open area.
Yeah.
So
What
that
about putting them on the
is.
carnival lot?
Well, that's the next thing I'm thinking, the only,
Because
Not
then
a
we can
huge-
just pop that gate out of the main parking lot, give them a VIP entrance.
yeah, no, I get it. So there's two things with that. So one, walking from there over to the concert arena isn't ideal. I mean, it's not dangerous, but it's certainly not all asphalt. And then the other thing, remember we have that show that will be finishing up in Expo Hall that will also be parking on the carnival lot, which doesn't preclude from
The
mixing.
expo part, but
Yeah, it doesn't, and it doesn't preclude his folks coming in, but I'd figure already the north part of the carnival lot or the part closest to the building. So if we need to divide it up in some way to sort of identify, okay, here's the LARUSSEL'S show, you know, here's 100 parking spaces or whatever it is, right? And we hold those, and then the other people, you know, doing their stereo thing in the expo building do their thing, and never the twain shall meet. Because if anything, I'm guessing some number of those people are going to be intrigued by what you're doing, even though what their show is a completely different kettle of fish. But it's just like, even if they've never heard of you, and probably a lot of them have, they're going to say, oh, look, there's this thing going on, let's check it out.
let's go sit at the cool kids table.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like when there's two good movies in the theaters at once.
Exactly. And given when their show finishes up around 1 o'clock, I mean, the timing for them is perfect, right?
Right, ideal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we could figure that. I was also thinking with for Sage, we can use Sage Street entrance for like friends and family and
Yes.
and perfect. I was going to have all them like we'll either give them a specific band or a certain code for them to know at the gate that they're with us, and then they could park in that back shed area.
Well, that's the intention. Anything that's not, I guess, basically general admissions, let's send through Sage. If it's basically, if they're a GA, you know, just paying patrons coming in, put them in the main lot, and then we'll clear them, you know, talked about, you know, bringing them in through that white tent. We'll do this, you know, the bag search and the winding thing there. We'll wristband them there with some big bright wristbands so we know they've been through that, and then they're in. Really after that, I know we'll need to talk a little bit about how your admission operations work, but the key to that, as far as getting in the arena, if you want to limit people or if you want to control people going in and out of the arena, if they have the wristband, you'll know, your guys will know that they've been through the security.
Yeah.
That's all. And that, because there's a certain number of people, I mean, because we aren't doing the full lockdown, you know, hard fence perimeter around everything, which just creates different issues. So we're going to have enough staff to protect it, but it won't be, you know, 100% locked down.
Yeah, no, that's all right.
And the problem with that anyways, you know, it starts to look like a jail. And we don't want that either.
So did Jason yesterday see anything that he liked or didn't like about how we did the hard bail?
He didn't give me the recap yet because I've been in
okay.
Colorado, so
Okay.
I'll get with him today and see what that turned out like.
Okay.
And I was in the arena.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah, I'll get with him and check that out.
You know, and in terms of attendance, be pretty close. That ended up just a little over 22 for what they did.
Nice.
And so we're aiming what 25.
So when they do that, are they doing like standing and bleachers or just
Yeah.
bleachers? Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
so what they do with the Harpeo thing, so they got this stage and set a little farther back, like at the edge of the grass, and so they got like the bandos or whatever it is playing up there. They have basically a round little arena they make with temporary panels. That's where these guys ride the bulls. So it's pretty surreal when they do it. This would be awesome. I could see you doing a show like that.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be a big deal. And even if lighting rigs now, as you know, everything's on the LED. Doesn't pull anything. You know, whereas the old days, you had to have this massive amount of power just sitting there.
Right.
Do you do Jennies anywhere? I don't know that you would need one here.
Yeah, so they were going to bring a generator kit just for safety, but once we go walking and we can see the power, I'll let them know, and then we should.
Well, that's good, because one of the things they can do is we got switch gear there. So if they want, we can tie it into the switch gear. So if the power decides to die in the middle of the show, just a manual crossover.
Nice.
Or if they prefer, because I know some guys get very, they like to tune the power and all that.
Yeah.
If you want to run the show off the Jenny, that's fine too. I mean, we've done both, just, the various stuff we've done over the years. So there's plenty of shore power, but if your guys want good clean power and they're running it through all sorts of conditioners and all sorts of crazy stuff, I get it.
Good job.
So I guess that reminds me, I was going to ask before, do you live stream any of this?
We usually live stream at home.
Yeah.
What is the Wi-Fi like out here?
Really good.
Yeah.
That's why I'm bringing it up.
Well, we should.
We could.
You
We
can sell
should.
tickets that way too.
Yeah, we
Live
can sell
stream.
tickets to the live stream.
And
Yeah.
I don't know if you do that behind a paywall or whatever your model is, but you know what I'm saying. The capability is there if you want to do it, and if that's something you're interested in, we'll get you. I'm guessing you're the guy who does that stuff. We get you with our IT guy. They can talk about all the, the internet stuff.
Nice.
But
So we've done a paywall one
Yeah.
time when we live stream, but generally we just go straight to like YouTube, Instagram, and everything.
Got
and
it,
allow
okay.
everyone to
The last time was a
partake,
birthday show.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was the last time we did a paywall version.
Gives
so
your
this will
family a
be-
chance to buy you a nice birthday present.
right.
that's a good point. So
Yeah.
it all pays.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm just curious because the model you're using is so interesting to me. So
Yeah, this would be a good one.
yeah. Okay. So, and we're kind of talking about back of house a little bit. So, one of the things we tossed around a little bit of things like green rooms, portable sanitation, canopies. So I've looked at getting a couple of container offices. And those are basically the 8x20 things. They have heater, AC. They're very basic. These aren't the green rooms you're seeing when you're going to real shows.
Yeah.
But, and I was thinking too, mostly because I was thinking about whatever your guest artists or guest performers may be. And I'm just sort of throwing this out because that's why I had in my mind. But I have no idea what your real needs are. So think about that. Other things would be things like canopies, just like pop-ups and all that kind of thing. Are you doing any catering or anything for this kind of thing?
No, our vendors will be doing food.
Yeah, so you got that. So you aren't doing any special like back of house. What do they call it? And,
No,
Yeah,
we'll
you
probably
know what I'm
just
talking about.
have like fruit and stuff.
yeah.
But-
So if somebody wants to go get some Q or whatever, you say, hey, go over to
Yeah.
whoever it is, and they'll bring some back.
Exactly.
Okay, so I was thinking in terms of that back of house area, which is really just going to be you, your key people, I guess VIPs if you're going to let them back, their family and so forth. It's going to be a couple of those 8x20 green rooms that are temperature controlled. Probably some pop-ups with some sort of tables and chairs. I don't know, just for people to sit down. I know the show is basically about 2 hours, right?
Yeah, it's
That-
a short show.
And you pretty much just stay on stage for the 2 hours, or do you do an
Yep.
intermission? Okay, so you're up there and you just do it to it.
No way.
Yeah. And so most of your folks are going to be watching that show, right? I mean, they aren't going to be sitting in the back going, oh
Yeah,
shit.
no,
'cause-
we
yeah.
don't usually have people in the back area. We make
Okay.
everybody kind of participate and support the show.
So if we do that pretty basic, we get the green room, some tables and chairs. I mean, again, not fancy. You know, we could do fancy, but obviously fancy is more. We get one of those little two, you know, they aren't the full up VIP trailers, but they're the trailers that have the two nice restrooms on them, you know, as opposed to the regular just porta potties.
Yeah, we get those at the
Yeah,
house.
you know what I'm talking about. And it's real, you know, it's basic, it's clean, and we do that. We combine them with some canopies. Hell, I don't know. I mean, I know over the years doing different types of shows, everything from AstroTurf to all that. I'm assuming not for this, but I'm just asking. I don't know that. I'm just kind of based on our conversation so far.
Yeah, we usually get a porta potty company like for the luxury ones for just the backing area. But there's buildings here with restrooms.
Yes, there are. So and this is part of the more on the front of house side. So there's a couple things to consider. So what we're going to do is we'll have a combination of portable toilets. That'll be over on the west side of the arena. There's a little road you'll see when we walk back down there. I'll point that out. There's a public restroom on the concourse, which is that main street in front of the arena. Yeah. But when we get into shows that are a couple of thousand-ish people, you know, or more like that, we find it's best to have the combination because it really comes down to the guys will go just about anywhere. Whereas ladies prefer generally not to have to use the portable toilets if they don't have to. Yeah. And so that's usually a pretty good combo. So for example, for this show we just did yesterday, that's how we supported it. So there's like 16 or 20 or whatever it is in that little alleyway of the portable toilets. And then also the regular restrooms, which are pretty basic restrooms, but they're still actual real restrooms. Then the other thing I think we talked about, maybe you and Tom had talked about it, is putting some number of them in the front by where the that white tent is, where the search and winding is going to go on, because obviously people are going to line up there for a little while while they go through that. So we have some there. So if suddenly nature calls, they have some place to take care of it. So that's
especially if they've been in traffic for a fair bit.
Yeah, because I'm guessing this is, you know, you get a handful of those people coming in a long way, but I mean, this is certainly not just a local show. This is more like a regional show, I would guess.
Yeah, a lot of Oakland, Sacramento.
Yeah, you're gonna get Oakland, Sac. You get guys out of South Bay as well, or so pretty much get people coming up from like LA, whatever. Okay, so you got that. Okay, so that makes sense. So that kind of that helps. So let's shift briefly over to the food and beverage concessionaires. Now,
do you want me to talk to the hotel about blocking out any rooms or anything?
Oh, good idea, yeah.
What is it, Marriott?
Yeah, it's a Marriott.
Do they give you guys like rate, like
We can get some pretty good rates.
I wonder, because some people will probably come in early. Might be able to use the Twister too. But for the most part, this is like local Bay Area. So I don't think, maybe for like the fest next year, but I think for this one, since it's like more local Bay Area, it'll be alright.
Because we do have that kind of pipeline if you want to use it for down the road too.
Yeah.
No, that works really well for, like you say, you know, the festival thing where it's going to be a multi-day, different thing, right? You know, and go in there and tear out the walls, all this stuff that happens. So as far as the food and bev, I was thinking probably for the size show, I had in my mind around 6. I don't know, I mean, you're doing these, so and you know who you're bringing in. Do you have a sense of sort of what you were looking for in numbers?
In terms of?
How many food trucks?
We're looking at
5.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're in the same ballpark there. Yeah. You got a little stable of them that you use? I mean, other places?
That frequent our shows.
Yeah. And I'm sure you guys, Tom, have talked a little bit about it, because we're always looking to add, you know, whether it's different types or just more people, because a lot of the stuff we do is Hispanic, so we're pretty good in that market, but, you know, obviously we're trying to expand beyond that. Yeah. And so as far as the lineup, what we were going to suggest is, so on the outside of the arena, rather than put them in the arena, we put them outside. What do you think about that?
I agree.
And then, so we line them up, so we got that street there, we line them up along the side of the street, and it's, all the hookups are pretty easy there. And then we either do picnic tables, or if you want people to come back in the arena, whatever, doesn't really matter.
And that's in this middle
part. Yeah, you'll see when we walk down there, you know, as we walk down the street, in the center of the street, there's these light poles, and there's like planters that go
Is
all
it
the way
this
down that sort of
East
divide.
Concourse, is that what that is?
Oh, I'm sorry, yes, main concourse, that's correct.
I'm thinking since they'll be early arrival, we'll just be able to kind of meet them in this area and just spend some time there before we let general admission in.
Okay.
So now, that reminds me, is there VIP seating on the floor?
We were thinking around the stage if
Yeah.
we build like a little inner area,
Yeah,
intermediate barrier,
Yeah.
and then have it open. We've seen that at a lot of the shows that we've attended, so I think
Yeah.
we may just do that for that. That way they could have their own area, and I'm thinking maybe a section off in the bleachers so we get section off solely for people who rather sit than stand.
got it, okay. And so in terms of controlling those areas, you know, sort of, it's a kind of an admission-y or an usher thing. Is that an us thing or is that a you thing?
My team will take care of that.
Okay.
Yeah, and we'll have specific bands for different.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
cool.
And then we do have some, I don't know if any of your guests will be coming in wheelchairs, but we do have some ADA compatible
Yes.
seating
Nice.
there.
I've
Yep.
gotten a few emails about
Yep.
that, so that's perfect. That will be on the ground.
Well, no, it's actually on the stand, so it's elevated so they'll be able to see.
It's the best seats in the house are the
Nice.
ADA seats at the base of the grandstand.
Nice.
I love that. It's good to know. Well, that was
Groovy.
all of my understanding. Questions?
So let's talk a little bit about merch. I assume you sell merch. I see you have a very
Of course.
nice web portal that
Yeah.
sells merch. So do you have folks who sell your stuff?
Yeah.
And do people still sell CDs or what are DVRs?
We do.
So that's still part
Vinyl,
of it.
CDs, everything.
Do you have other merch vendors that you work with, or will it be basically your operation?
It's all of our, it's our internal team.
Now, for that, are you going to want that inside close to stage?
It's kind of like what we were saying with the rink. I think it might be better, like, along with the food, so that way
Oh, okay.
people aren't, like, trying to negotiate
Yeah.
during.
And it'll be a booth set up, so they'll,
Yeah, so you gotta
it'll,
pop
it'll
up
be on
there.
that main concourse.
Okay, so that works fine. And then, how big's your operations? Like a 10 by 10, or you got like a big?
Yeah,
merch
like a 10
thing?
by 10.
Okay, so it's not a big deal, and
No.
and it's basically, I guess, what, like selling. You got a lot of clothing and then all the
Mhm.
stuff I was looking at on your web portal. So
Yeah.
okay, cool. We talked about show staff, VIP parking a little bit. Looks like we still got to nail down for sure what we want to do with VIP parking. So we'll get that squared away. Let's talk about the general admission parking. And so, all those folks, we know we're going to bring them in the main gate, the front gate. And so, now explain. I see we got the $10 upsell parking. So typically for a show like this, use a ratio of about one vehicle for maybe 3 people.
Yep.
So you're talking 800-ish vehicles. So now because that's an upsell on the front end, that's a separate credential, I think, right? So when they come in so the first place we talk to them is, "Hi, may I see your credentials, please?" So now here's the fun part. Is your portal set up that I hope it won't let them just buy a parking pass without buying.
We
the
were
show
just
pass?
talking about that earlier. So when they come in, and we'll have our people at the gate as well, they'll
Yeah.
have to show their show ticket
Yeah,
to
their parking pass.
to get into the gate, and
Yeah.
then their parking pass to park their car.
yeah.
So at that same moment, you'll be scanning both, and our scanner reads both.
Perfect. Yeah, no, that's the key. So, I like the upsell, but that was the one thing I was thinking, well, what happens if this?
We had someone that reached out, and those things that you think that people, it's like, that doesn't make sense, but yeah.
If they could do it, they will do it.
There you go.
And so, okay, so that takes care of that. So one of the things we probably wrestled with most internally is dealing with folks we got to turn away. So there's 2 spots where that could happen, right? So the first spot is where the vehicles come in, because essentially if they don't have a vehicle pass, the vehicle gets turned around. Okay, and so and it's going to help tremendously. It'll help tremendously because obviously you have your admissions crew and all that, and then our folks will be able to work with the logistics of getting them
Along this entrance zone, is there a drop-off point or a walk path where people could just pull up and drop off the people who want to just walk
Well,
up
I was
to them?
thinking
Like a
about
super
that.
pad or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, we created that, you know, sort of under our, we'll call our normal or our regular model. What we would do is allow them to go up to where that white tent is and drop off.
Mm.
Where on the map
Yeah.
is the white tent?
Oh, let me show you. No worries. We're just talking about establishing a pedestrian drop-off point in front of the white tent, sort of like we do normally for shows. Are you cool with that?
Sure, we just gotta make sure we have enough staff in the parking lot to man that drop-off.
Yep, no, that makes sense. So,
What if, because they kind of have this like turnaround loop set up already.
Yeah, the drop off should be
Yeah.
earlier.
If
We can
it
do
was
that.
like where this M for the main parking lots is right there, if maybe there was like a little drop off area right there instead, so that way
yeah,
as
if
people,
you're cool with your folks walking a little
That
further,
way
Yeah.
they
that's
can
fine.
get out.
Yeah,
just
and they can
turn
kind of walk
around
through the
right
parking lot
there.
like how
Not a
everybody else is
problem,
going to
yeah.
be doing from dropping off their cars anyway.
Yeah.
I
No,
think
that
that'll
sounds
mitigate
great.
traffic up there as well.
Okay, well, we'll do that. That sounds good. Does that work for you, Carol Ann?
Sure, you'll have to show me on a map.
I will, yeah, it's just, it actually simplifies it, so that's good.
Okay.
So anyway, get them there, so then the next checkpoint is at the tent, and we, you know, it's essentially the same issue, so, you know, we'll do the wanding and bag check, and then your admissions folks will be there, right? And that'll be where they'll verify the show ticket.
So what I'm thinking is
Yeah.
the show and parking pass is verified at the gate. So we can verify it, wristbands, everything there as they're coming in.
Okay,
That way, by the time they get to admissions, they can just get wand and go in. You
Okay.
know, we don't have to re-verify tickets. Everything should be at that gate because they shouldn't even get into the
The
grounds
only thing with
without
that
a ticket.
is people who walk up, like if you're not, because like how I'm imagining is you're like, they come up, they're in a car, you're like, do you have a parking pass or do you have a ticket? And they show that, and then you hand them their wristbands and things. Because you wouldn't be able to wristband them in the car. It would cause a lot of like, it would slow the traffic, right? So you would just hand them however many tickets they have in the car. But then it's like, oh, well, I have somebody, I have 4 tickets, only 3 people are in the car. They would have their ticket though.
Yeah,
They would get sent their ticket. Yeah.
Well,
The other
we don't
issue-
have to give them wristbands in the car, but yeah, I guess so. I guess they can re-show it at the gate. But I'm just thinking like if we get it all done there.
well, here's the thing to consider out front. If we have a rush of vehicles, we easily can get into a situation where we're backing up traffic. If we're doubling up the work done there, and that's part of why proposed just dealing with the vehicle verification there.
Yeah.
Because,
Okay.
you know, we recently did a show, it was a truck show of all things in August, where we just got crushed, run over. We were backing up 80, we had 37 shut down, it was great. But, so if we can, there's enough
Just
queuing
verify
room or
parking
staff.
But we
passes
can
there.
check that they have both, but just
Yeah.
not scan anything. Is
Yeah.
what I'm thinking. So then you don't get your ticket scanned until you get to the gate to
Just
have your
scan
bag
the
checked.
parking
But you
pass.
still have to show both to
Yeah.
even be able to park.
Yeah, I think, yes.
So you're not
like
just
the airport.
yeah, you're not
Yeah.
verifying
Yeah.
just the
There you
parking
go,
pass. You're
yeah.
verifying both, but we're not scanning anything at the gate. So you just show it. You know, you check for both, and then you let them in.
And
think
so
that'd
then
be
when they walk
simpler.
up to the white tent, you have a couple of admissions folks, whatever
Yeah.
there, that's where they do the scan of the ticket, they go through the, you know, they do the quick search, the winding thing, and then we put, you know, whatever wristband on them that shows, so by then they've been cleared for parking, they've been cleared for admissions, they've been wristbanded, it shows they've been, you know, through the bag check and all that stuff. Now, one thing I know we talked about a little bit was the possibility of doing clear bags. And I don't know quite where we left that off. Is that going to be challenging for your folks?
I don't think so. Honestly.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think so either. 'Cause that's a
People
common.
go to enough musical events and it's become so standard nowadays.
Yes.
Yeah.
How do we feel about what if we kind of had 2 stops right here on this like walkway, because they're going to be walking from the parking lot, right?
Correct.
If we had one area where we like check for tickets and then
Okay.
we let them through, so then they can have their bag check and they can go in, so that way we
So
kind of
don't have to
mitigate
do
the
it all at
line,
once.
because that'll make it
Yeah.
a lot slower if we have to check
Well,
tickets
yeah,
and
here-
your bags.
What I originally had in mind, and it really depends on, you know, it's always a staffing issue for both you and us. So what I'd originally thought, so we would come in, you know, we'd let them park, they would come and they would do the security checkpoint thing and get wristbanded. And then finally there would be an admissions checkpoint at the arena, where your folks are, so they would already know by the wristband that they were cleared or whatever you want to call it to get in there, but it would fall on your folks to control the access to the arena itself.
Yeah.
And
or opposite.
Yeah, like
I'm
us
thinking
being the
like
first point of contact.
they meet us first, and
Yeah.
we do tickets and wristbands,
Yeah.
and then they could go through.
So if we do
security
have to turn
clearance.
someone away, it would just be us dealing with that. You
Yeah.
wouldn't
Exactly.
get
It would
anybody to
never
the
get to the
security
security.
until they've already been completely
And I
verified
like
by
that.
us.
That way your guests get treated the way you want them to be treated, and you have complete control over
And
it.
it gives security just
Yep.
they already know. They
And
just have to do their
the way
check
I'm
and
thinking
pass
with
through.
security then is we would need less of the Goodcompenny team members at the like we only need one or two there, and
Right.
then we can have all Goodcompenny people doing the ticket scanning before they even get to security. So by that time they've already been briefed. You're gonna get your bag checked, and then you're gonna be able to go in, and it's very fluid.
Yeah, and they can tell people with the clear bag.
Mhm.
Everything that security would have to deal with can get mitigated there,
Yep.
so it wouldn't even reach it. If it's a bag issue, it's
We'll
like
see it
go back
beforehand.
to the car.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep, I like
Yep.
that.
Yeah.
I like
So
that.
we could set up just an area right there and just have our people posted. That'd
And
be
then
perfect.
the wait, so then when you're like waiting to get in, your first person that you're greeted by after you've
Mhm.
waited to get in is a person, and that I feel like security line wouldn't at that point be long.
No.
It would be a very smooth process.
No,
The
we're-
longest part is checking in and wristbanding.
yeah, we're figuring roughly on average about 30 seconds per person, you know, for the bag and wanding, unless there's always exceptions, right? But for the most part. So it sounds like what you're thinking is we set up essentially a station in front of that, where the admission stuff is done. So we could use pop-up tents and all that. So, because we'll want it to look like something, right?
Yep.
Like there's
in
a
the middle
thing
of
there.
here. Yeah.
Right, and so your guys screen, and then sorry, you know, we aren't selling on site or whatever the story may be.
Everything you get mitigated early.
And then once they get through there, our security guys aren't kind of caught up in that loop of you can't come in for whatever
Yep.
reason. So
Yep.
their job is just simply
They
focus
shouldn't have to
on.
explain anything.
Yeah.
A silent day.
Right?
Yeah,
Just a
I like that a
smile.
lot.
Yeah, it's just do the one thing. Carol Ann, you listening to this?
Yes.
You cool with this?
Yeah, my thought was a couple of pop-ups out front to half toll.
Perfect, yeah.
Perfect.
No, it's
So
real.
you come from the parking lot, you're directed right to the Goodcompenny station.
Mm-hmm.
Check in, you get wristbanded, then you come through us.
Perfect.
Okay, cool.
Do you want
Our
delivery
lanes are
guys to
doubled
call
up in
people's
staff,
attention to where to
so-
go?
I like that. That would be cute.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
great.
A little 3-point check-in process.
There you go. No, great idea. Thanks for,
We call
lots
it
of
the
that.
conveyor belt.
Yeah,
Yep.
Right.
Exactly.
Yep.
And that's
And
how
it- yeah.
you get more production done.
Yeah.
And every step through, you're being communicated with. You know what's coming next. It'll
Yeah.
be really
Yeah.
easy for them.
no, so that all sounds good. So at this point, it sounds like we have a pretty good plan. So we've gotten them in. We have mitigated any unfortunate attitudinal disorders. They're now inside. They walk down to the arena, and so pretty much the arena is just in and out. You don't have to really control because you've already done it
Yeah.
far away. And so we have the food guys and your merch thing and whatever all down there. They just go and mill around, right?
Yeah.
So when people show up, they're probably going to go, you know, I mean, one of the first things people always seem to do, if they want to have certain seats, well, they'll do merch, but they're going to go, they're going to get their seat or whatever, their little space.
Yeah.
Then they're going to go get the merch. And so so while this is going on, you're doing your VIP sort of meet and greety thing. So 11 to 12, but we aren't really letting GA until 12. So after you're done doing the meet and greet stuff, you wander among.
Yep.
Yeah. And so if people are coming up, say they want to buy a DVD or a CD or whatever, you just sort of fall out of the sky and maybe autograph it or do the selfie or
Exactly.
or whatever it is. And because part of the whole point is that you're out interacting directly with people. And so that's what those 2 hours are about.
Exactly.
So you aren't one of those guys who hides in the green room eating the green M&Ms.
M&Ms.
Yeah, for the whole time. So okay.
Not at all. You'll probably see me more than you think you should see me.
Yeah. No, I get it. I'm just sort of. So what it really kind of tells me, I think, if I'm understanding the sort of overall philosophy of the show, it really is a 4-hour show. Just happens 2 hours or maybe more of it.
2 hours of performance and 2 of hospitality and
Yeah.
just building the energy and the aura of what you're about to experience.
And then, like you say, because you're out there wandering around talking to people, whatever. If it's right to start at 3:30 or whatever, you're just going to do it.
Yep.
And now, do you do the? Well, I imagine you have all sorts of fun in-ears and lavaliers and all that. Will you do the show from the floor or from outside? Or when you're performing, are you performing only on stage? Or are you performing?
I'll probably end up in the bleachers.
Yeah.
Probably
So,
is unnecessary.
I'm just thinking now, go back to production side. We got some pretty good distances to cover here. Your guys can be cool with, on the tech side,
Yeah.
covering a few hundred feet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
Okay. Well, I mean, I figured as much, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And so you do all the in-ear and all that kind of stuff.
We usually use stage monitors, and with this 360 setup,
Yeah.
I'm hearing what the crowd is hearing at all times. So I got a bit more.
So I was
range
watching one of
than
your
usual.
videos, maybe in DC. Looked like the sound thing went south.
Yeah.
And so what happened? The monitors shut off, or they're just too low, or something?
Some
Because you're kind of talking the text through it, and you're jawing the crowd along at the same time, right?
Yeah.
So the crowd wasn't going to start
he
turning.
was just adjusting the monitor.
Okay.
As we go.
And so obviously you're just working on the fly, make it work. And so now when you're out in the crowd, if you aren't doing it in here, you just do it.
Yep.
Just make it work.
Yep.
And so like when you're doing the shows, your backyard shows, what do you do for sound there? Just a smaller system?
Same 360 setup, the smaller system, but
Okay,
yeah,
same
it's
thing.
surround sound. Yep.
Cool. Okay. Well, I'm learning stuff, so
Yeah.
I'll be really interested to see all this when it comes together. Okay, so we've talked a little bit about the general schedule. So sound check 10 to 11, VIP thing we've talked about. Parking 12, doors 2, show theoretically 4-ish. I'm figuring a couple hours, what I'm calling blow off after the show, because people they're having a good time. If they're mellow, they're going to take a while kind of to waddle on out of here. Does that sound right?
They're usually pretty.
We have a pretty good dispersal of a crowd.
I mean, we weren't really thinking of like pushing them out or anything.
Yeah, no, we got a really good crowd. Like I communicate through everything. So it'll be a natural dispersion.
Okay,
People
cool.
Get out of there.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just sort of a soft, we go with it. I mean, you know, one of the nice things, because we aren't going to have alcohol at this show, we aren't going to get the aggressive drunks, right? And,
The best part.
And I assume there will be some people who will be enjoying a little bit of smoke during the show.
Yeah.
And generally, as we all know, that doesn't really generate a lot of aggression. So it's just kind of getting them to move along now, show's over, all that stuff. And so okay, well, anyway, so that's still good. In terms of the start of the day, you guys do anything crazy like 5 a.m. or whatever?
No, we'll probably be here 8.
Okay.
Does that work?
Yeah. Well, especially if you got the deck in, right?
Yeah.
Because that's the hardest part of it.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it, sound guys, they'll just go through it. So, okay, cool. Admissions we've talked about. Right now, if our max, I think we're aiming at 2,500. Is that where our target?
Yeah.
I think where we ended up. Is that looking good to you?
Yeah. We're not gonna go over that.
Okay.
So I'm gonna cut it if we reach that.
And you figure right now you're sitting on roughly 1,000-ish,
Yeah.
give or take.
Yeah.
How do you deter? I know I don't want to go off subject more as I tend to do, but so with the offer-based system, so you get the offer and somebody offers you $10, just to say, how are you able to determine if that's a legit offer because you don't know anything about the person, right?
It puts a hold on their card when they put the offer in.
Okay.
So basically, their
Yeah.
money is held in escrow. So if we don't accept it, then they get a refund back to their card. But if we accept it, then the money has already been deducted from their bank account. If they don't have it in their bank account,
They
the
can't put the
transaction.
So there has to be a person in the loop on your end to say yes or no.
Yes.
Yeah, me.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you sit down and do that in batches,
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
Yeah.
And so, is there a way for a person to tell their story?
Not really in that one. We have different portals we built for that, but in this one, not really.
If
But
they
we
have
get
to,
a
they'll
lot.
send an
You'll
email
get some
or
who,
something.
yeah, they'll email and say why, or they'll message
Oh,
me on
okay.
Instagram and say, hey, I can only afford this, and I really want to go. You know, so it's different predicaments. But for this show, I've really been trying to allow everyone access because I look at this show as a proof of concept.
No, I get
You
it.
know, I just want people to experience what this is new,
Yeah.
and then we can go into, okay, we're going to set minimums here. But right now, I've been like allowing people that's paying 10, I've been allowing people that's paying 150. So just so everyone gets to get this experience, then when we build on, and it's like, okay, now you know what you're getting when you come here.
Right.
This
No,
is
you get a
why
little
we don't
test of the
accept
market.
this.
Do you have, like, for this show, when you open the sales, did you have sort of an end goal per cap in mind that informs, you know, if you take a lot of lower offers? Not really. So it's just
you know, for this one, like it's my birthday, and it's my proof of concept of what we could do for this city and what we could build. So no, I just wanted to allow people the chance to get something we've never had in this city.
So if this were more, well, you see where I'm going. If it's more of a commercial show, would you approach it differently?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, same but different. Like, you know, we just minimize the amount of lower offers that we accept if it's something that's like higher. Like for this, it's just me.
Understood.
When we do the fest, I'm bringing in different artists and different things.
Well, and then you're really locked in because now you got deals with everybody and all that fun stuff that you got to negotiate or somebody does. Okay. Yeah. Well, thanks for explaining. I'm just sort of trying to get my head around it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, yeah. Exactly. Now, Snoop parachutes out of the sky. Obviously, you know, for something like this, I assume that that's not so much a money thing, but if you book Snoop as part of the festival, that is very much a money thing, and all his posse, and you know everything that comes with it. And so, no, I get that. So, and actually, that was one of the questions I had with respect to special guests. Is that the kind of thing you aren't going to know till the day?
Yeah, those are going to be really close to last minute calls. You know, not day of, but it'll be very close to the show before it's like this one is for sure. A lot of our special guests, it's like we get calls the day before, the day prior, and it's like, hey, I'm gonna be there, I'm gonna pull up. You know.
Yeah.
So.
They'll just be treated as like family and friends, though.
No, that makes sense. So that would not be part of the marketing thing.
No. Yeah, this show.
Because I mean, that's kind of the thing. Let's say just for fun, Snoop decides to parachute in for your birthday. He comes, he does 15 minutes with you. Well, that's great for the 2,500 people in there, right?
Right.
But because they didn't plan on coming to the show. And, well, if it's live stream, a certain number of people are going to figure out that he's there, but they aren't going to be able to get in. So it doesn't really affect much.
No.
Whereas if we market it 2 weeks earlier.
It changes everything.
Yeah, so you see where I'm going.
Yeah.
So you got that. And, well, I'm kind of running out of stuff, to be honest. Tom, I'm sure you had some stuff. For Carol Ann, I know you're listening. Thanks. Did you have any questions?
You hit every question I had.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
Good.
you know, so I'm sorry, or as you know, these things are literally all over the page on nuts and bolts for really mundane things. But I think we've covered most of the stuff. So,
We're in there.
So I think we're getting close, and
I'm happy.
I think, and you know, again, thanks for coming up with that admissions change, because I think that'll work really well.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be great for the race. Mel, you have anything?
It's going to be a great show, ain't it? Does she
Nice.
go up on stage with you?
She doesn't come up on stage.
Yeah. It's coming. It's coming.
Right.
Well, shall we take a little walk
Yeah, let's
down
do
there?
it.
You good, Carol Ann?
That was good.
I'm good. You guys enjoy.
Oh,
Nice.
Thank you very much for taking the time. Really appreciate it.
Okay.
See you soon.
See you later.
Bye.